In this class we will study about change in state, energy associated with it, and temperature, heat input graph when ice is heated from minus 5 degrees Celsius to until it reaches steam, until it becomes steam. Let us consider ice at minus 5 degrees Celsius. So here heat is being applied to ice at minus 5 degrees Celsius and the temperature is noted when heat is being supplied to it. Now we know that in a solid the molecules are closely packed. Since the molecules are closely packed, intermolecular space is less and intermolecular force of attraction is very high. The force of cohesion among the ice molecule is very high. So when it is being applied, the heat is absorbed by the ice molecules. They start vibrate about their mean position. The temperature increases from minus 5 to minus 4, minus 3. In this it increases to 0. Net kinetic energy remains same. Net kinetic energy increases with the process because the temperature is increasing. So the molecules are energized and are vibrating with a greater vigor. But since the molecules are intact, the intermolecular space remains same. So the potential energy of the system remains same. Now what will be the heat energy required to convert ice at minus 5 degrees Celsius to 0 degrees Celsius? So that is equal to mass into specific heat capacity of ice into change in temperature. That will give you the quantity of heat required to convert minus 5 degrees Celsius ice to 0 degrees Celsius ice. Heat will be provided to the system. Similarly, if you go in the reverse direction, that means if you wish to convert 0 degrees Celsius ice to minus 5 degrees Celsius ice, the heat released by the ice will be mass into specific heat capacity of ice into change in temperature. So when the temperature is increased from minus 5 to 0 degrees Celsius, heat is provided to the system. When the temperature decreases from 0 to 5 degrees, minus 5 degrees Celsius, heat is released from the system. Now what happens when it is further heated from ice? Now when it is heated, it reaches the melting point. It is a well defined point of ice and we will observe that the ice starts melting but the temperature remains intact at 0 degrees Celsius. Some ice has melted but the temperature is still 0. The temperature is still 0 when entire water melts. So during the process of melting, that means change in state, the temperature remains static. There is no change in temperature. Unless and until the entire change of state completes, the temperature remains static. Now what is happening here? Heat is being absorbed by ice at 0 degrees Celsius. The molecules, some may gain energy, some may lose energy. So the net kinetic energy remains same during change of state. The entire heat energy used up by the ice will be used to increase the intermolecular spaces among them. Some energy is required to overcome the very strong cohesive force existing among the ice molecules. So work must be done to overcome the intermolecular forces. So that heat energy supplied by the external source used up to increase the intermolecular space, that means the potential energy of the system. So change in temperature is not manifested in the thermometer. There is no change in temperature because the heat is used up to do work against the intermolecular force of attraction of the molecules and separate them to increase their potential energy. You should remember that during the entire change of state from ice to water, the temperature remains same, that means at the melting point. Net kinetic energy remains same. Some molecules may gain kinetic energy, some may lose kinetic energy, but the net change will be 0. But the potential energy increases because it has gone from solid to the liquid state. Now, what is the quantum of heat required to convert ice to water completely? That is mass into latent heat of fusion of ice. So mass ml and mass latent heat of fusion of ice is 336,000 joule per kg. So heat energy required to convert m gram of ice to water is m into 336,000. And whenever 0 degree Celsius water gets converted to 0 degree Celsius ice, the energy released is 336,000 into m. Now what is happening when the temperature is further increased? When heat is being supplied to it at 0 degrees Celsius, water will slowly increase in temperature. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Heat is being supplied and temperature is increasing. But this increase in temperature will continue up to 100 degrees Celsius. Here the temperature is increased. So the heat absorbed is a sensible heat. That means it is manifested in the thermometer. Now here, since the temperature is increasing, the kinetic energy must be increasing. But since there is no change in state, liquid remains liquid, the intermolecular space remains same. That means the potential energy remains same. Here, heat energy absorbed by 0 degree Celsius water to convert to 100 degree Celsius water, or heat energy released by 100 degree Celsius water to 0 degree Celsius water is equal to mass into specific heat capacity of water into change in temperature. That means 100 minus 0. So specific heat capacity of water is 4200 into delta T dash. That means here delta T dash represents the change in temperature. It is the heat absorbed when temperature is increased or heat released when temperature is decreased. Now if heating is continued, then water will get completely converted to steam. Now when change in state is occurring, the temperature remains static at the boiling point of water. That means at 100 degrees Celsius. Here the heat energy is used up to increase the intermolecular space of water molecules. Some energy is required to overcome the intermolecular force of attraction of liquid molecules. That energy is supplied by the heat energy and is not manifested in the reading of the thermometer, because the heat absorbed is used up to increase the intermolecular space of the molecules. That means to increase the potential energy of the molecules, unless and until the entire water gets heated up and converted to steam, the temperature remains static. That means the net kinetic energy remains same, potential energy increases, the temperature remains same at 100 degrees Celsius. Now here two change of state is occurring, one from solid to liquid state, another from liquid to vapor state. You should remember that the latent heat of vaporization is always greater than the latent heat of fusion. Actually, the intermolecular separation increases in both the cases of change of state from solid to liquid and liquid to gas. But the increase is much larger while a liquid gets converted to vapor state. So larger work must be done against the force of cohesion when a liquid is converted to gaseous state as compared to a solid get converted to liquid state. As the latent heat supplies the required energy, so the latent heat of vaporization of a material must be greater than the latent heat of fusion. Moreover, when a solid melts into a liquid, volume gets increased generally, and when a liquid turns into a gas, volume always increases. So work must be done against external pressure. So additional work must be done against the external pressure. For example, the atmospheric pressure during volume expansion. So greater energy will be required, and that energy is supplied by the latent heat. Hence, the increase in volume is much greater when a liquid turns into a gas. So the work done, and hence the latent of heat vaporization is much higher as compared to latent heat of fusion. So here the heat energy required to convert m gram of water to m gram of steam at 100 degrees Celsius is m into latent heat of vaporization. Similarly, when 100 gram of steam gets converted to 100 gram of water without any change in temperature, then the heat released by the system will be equal to mass into latent heat of vaporization of steam. Now if we represent it graphically, what will we show here? Now we are drawing here a heat input and temperature graph. The x-axis represents the heat input and this is the temperature graph. See here, heat energy is supplied and heat energy is increasing. With the absorption of heat energy, ice minus 5 degrees Celsius gets converted to water at 0 degrees Celsius. So y-axis represents change in temperature, minus 5 degree to 0 degrees Celsius. Some heat is absorbed, heat energy absorbed is the region OA. Sorry, OA, not OA, it's the distance between the point 0, 0 and the point A. Now, when melting starts, heat is being supplied. So the graph proceeds in the forward direction. That means the figure in the x-axis increases. The measurement along the x-axis increases. That means the heat input increases. That is, with the increase in heat energy, the temperature remains static at 0 degrees Celsius. Point A maintains 0 degrees Celsius, point B maintains 0 degrees Celsius. This region AB, here the temperature remains 0 degrees Celsius because change of state is occurring from solid to liquid state. Here the graph becomes parallel or along the x-axis. Now again from B to C, it has reached a point B is at 0 degrees Celsius, point C is at 100 degrees Celsius. So some quantum of heat energy is absorbed from B to C. Here the temperature is increasing. Here it is the region where 100 degrees Celsius, 0 degrees Celsius water at B get converted to 100 degrees Celsius water at C. So water starts boiling. B is the initial point at 0 degrees Celsius water and C is the final point of water at 100 degrees Celsius. So some heat is being supplied. It can be measured by drawing a line parallel to the x-axis, and the meeting point of the region will give you another point. If it is D, then BD will give you the heat absorbed when a certain quantum of water gets converted to 0 degrees Celsius water, get converted to 100 degrees Celsius water. Again, C is the point reached at 100 degrees Celsius. D is reached at 100 degrees Celsius. Here the heat input has taken place, but the temperature has remained static at 100 degrees Celsius. So CD is the region where vaporization is taking place. And then when the entire water gets converted to steam at point D, again the temperature will increase to certain amount. So see here, there are two parallel regions, AB and CD. AB represents melting, that means change of state from solid to liquid. CD represents boiling or vaporization, where change of state from liquid to gaseous state is occurring. But here OA and BC are the region where temperature is increasing. See, increasing in temperature taking place. Now if we compare the specific heat capacity of water and steam, specific heat capacity of ice is 2100 and specific heat capacity of water is 4200. That means specific heat capacity of water is twice the specific heat capacity of ice. Water has specific heat capacity, ice has specific heat capacity double. See here I am calculating it. The slope of OA is greater than slope of OB. See here in the graph, slope of OA is greater than slope of BC. Slope means here change in temperature along the x-axis by heat absorbed, which is taken along the x-axis, del y by del x. So change in temperature by heat absorbed when solid is converted to liquid, del q s dash l is greater than del T dash, that means the increase in temperature when slope of BC means here water gets converted to, sorry I have written wrong thing is written here, slope of it is not S2L is not solid to liquid, it is solid to solid from I 0 degrees Celsius to minus 5 degrees Celsius to 0 degrees Celsius or minus 10 degrees Celsius to 0 degrees Celsius. And here liquid to liquid, not liquid to gas, from 0 degrees Celsius water to 50, 60, 70, 80 or 90 or 100 degrees Celsius water. Let us consider 100 degrees Celsius water. So from the graph we get it here. Now del Q means mass into specific heat capacity of ice into water, and here this del Q means mass into specific heat capacity of ice into water into change in temperature. So this is mass into specific heat capacity of ice into change in temperature, and this one mass into specific heat capacity of water into change in temperature. So we write it in this manner. Now del T cancel in both the cases. So we will get mass cancel. So you will get 1 by specific heat capacity of ice is greater than 1 by specific heat capacity of water. Quite naturally, specific heat capacity of water is greater than specific heat capacity of ice. So from the graph, if we do not know the specific heat capacity of water, from the graph we can determine from the slope. By comparing the slope of OA and slope of BC, we can come to the conclusion that the specific heat capacity of water is greater than specific heat capacity of ice. It is quite visible here. The specific heat capacity of ice is 2100 and that of water is 4200, almost double. So the slope of OA and slope of OA will almost be double of slope of BC. Again see, the latent heat of fusion of ice is 336000 and the latent heat of vaporization is 2268000. If we compare these two, we will get 4:27. So this region of this graph AB and CD will be equivalent to 4:27. So CD must be greater than AB. I have told you earlier why the latent heat of vaporization is always greater than the latent heat of fusion of ice. I have told you the reason. It is quite natural that AB is to CD is 4:27. So AB must be smaller than CD, since latent heat of vaporization of steam is greater than latent heat of vaporization of AB. So greater quantum of heat will be required, that is almost 2268000 joules of energy consumed per kg of steam, per kg of water when get converted to steam. So while studying this change of state, you must study the formation of the graph, the region of the graph, the change in slope, which part of the graph is representing which one, in this manner. Now for sake of our calculation, when we calculate total heat absorbed or released, you should avoid doing part calculation. You should avoid part calculation. That means you should not calculate it, then calculate it, then calculate it, then calculate it, and then all those things, because there is a common factor. 2160, 336000, 4200, 2268000. You can take common as 2100. So this factor is common factor 2100. So while calculating, you remember this, it will help you in problem solving.